Most people think influence comes from talking loud, standing tall, or having a big crowd around you. But Sigma males prove something different. Influence doesn't always come from noise. Sometimes it shows up in silence, in presence, in being exactly who you are without trying to impress anyone. Sigma males don't follow crowds. They don't force attention. They don't play social games. But when they walk into a room, people feel it. And often they start paying attention without even knowing why. That's the quiet power of a Sigma male. They don't influence others with pressure. They do it with clarity, with calm, with truth. It's not about being dominant. It's about being grounded. And that kind of influence hits fast, not because they demand it, but because they don't. In a world full of people trying to be seen, the Sigma male stands apart by not needing the spotlight. That alone shifts the energy. He influences people without asking for it. He changes minds without debating. He gains trust without trying too hard. That kind of power doesn't come from being the loudest. It comes from being the realest. And it works instantly, not because it's magic, but because most people are starving for authenticity. They want something real. And when they meet a Sigma male, they feel it right away. That's what we're going into in this video. How Sigma males influence others quickly, without needing force or attention. We'll break down the exact ways this happens, starting with the traits that make this kind of influence possible. The core of Sigma influence. So what exactly makes Sigma males influential without trying? It starts with one word: presence. The Sigma male doesn't rush. He doesn't fake. He doesn't try to be someone he's not. He moves on purpose. He speaks when it matters. And that calm, self-controlled energy creates instant impact. At the core of this is authenticity. Sigma males don't wear masks. They don't adjust who they are depending on the room. What you see is what you get. And that's rare. Most people shift depending on who's watching. Sigma males don't care about that. They care about truth. And that truth builds trust fast. Another part of Sigma influence is self-reliance. They don't need validation. They don't need a crowd backing them. Their energy says, "I got this, with or without you." That quiet independence attracts people, because most people wish they could be that free. Also, Sigma males think strategically. They don't talk just to talk. They observe. They plan. They respond with intention. That level of awareness gives them an edge. While others are reacting, Sigma males are watching. And when they move, it's sharp, clear, and effective. That's what creates fast influence. Not hype, not emotion, but steady, grounded energy that makes others want to listen, even if they don't know why. And all of that happens before they even start talking. This is the foundation for everything else we'll explore in this video. Because when a Sigma male walks in with this kind of presence, the way he listens, speaks, acts, and leads becomes way more powerful. It's not a show. It's not a trick. It's real influence, built from the inside out. Way number 1, mastering the art of silent communication. Sigma males are known for being quiet, but that doesn't mean they're passive. In fact, silence is one of their strongest tools, because in silence, everything gets noticed. Body language, eye contact, posture, energy, and Sigma males use all of it. When they enter a room, they don't need to speak to be felt. The way they walk, the way they look around, the way they stay calm, it all says something, and it says it loud. This is silent communication, and Sigma males are masters at it. They don't slouch. They don't fidget. They don't look around nervously. They move like someone who's comfortable in his own skin. That kind of physical calm makes people take them seriously fast. They also use eye contact in a different way. Not aggressive, not overbearing, just steady, controlled. When a Sigma male locks eyes with someone, he doesn't break it quickly. He holds it just long enough to make the other person think, "This guy's not afraid." And that changes how people respond. They pause. They listen closer. They shift their energy. Because something about the way the Sigma male carries himself commands attention, without words. Even in conversations, their silence has weight. They don't rush to fill every pause. If someone's talking too much, they let them. And when they finally speak, people lean in, because they've been waiting. This balance between silence and speech creates tension, the good kind. It keeps people focused. It makes every word the Sigma male says more meaningful. They also control their facial expressions. They don't overreact. They don't flinch. That stillness creates mystery. And people naturally want to know more about someone they can't easily read. Even in disagreements, Sigma males rarely raise their voice. They stay measured. And that calm throws people off, especially those used to getting a reaction. This level of control over body, face, tone makes Sigma males feel grounded. And grounded people are trusted fast. Because in a world full of overreaction, the calm person feels like the leader, even when he says nothing. That's real influence, built not through volume, but through presence. The message is clear. Sigma males speak even when they're silent. And often their silence says more than words ever could. Way number 2, leveraging deep listening to connect. Sigma males don't just listen to respond. They listen to understand. That's a big difference, and it's exactly why people open up to them fast. While most people are waiting for their turn to speak, the Sigma male is fully focused. No distractions, no phone in hand, no wandering eyes, just full presence. This level of attention feels rare, because it is. When someone talks to a Sigma male, they feel like they're being heard for the first time, because the Sigma male isn't trying to top their story. He's not comparing. He's not correcting. He's absorbing. And that creates an instant connection. Deep listening builds trust faster than charm. It doesn't just say, "I hear you." It says, "You matter right now." And for most people, that's a game changer. In one-on-one conversations, Sigma males are quiet. But their silence is never empty. It's focused, intentional. And when they do speak, they don't ask shallow questions. They ask real ones. Things like, "Why do you think that is?" Or, "How did that make you feel?" They're not being polite. They're being real. That kind of interest catches people off guard. In a world of small talk, the Sigma male creates space for truth. And people feel that shift. They stop performing. They start opening up. Even in group settings, Sigma males use deep listening to spot things others miss. Who's dominating the room? Who's holding back? Who's uncomfortable? They don't interrupt. They just observe, quietly, but fully. And later, when they speak to someone one-on-one, they remember details. They bring up things others forgot. And that creates the feeling of being seen, not watched, seen. This listening also gives Sigma males an edge in leadership and conflict. While others argue, defend, or react, the Sigma male listens. And because of that, he usually understands the real problem faster than anyone else. That understanding makes his solutions sharper, his words stronger, and his presence more respected. It's not about being the smartest in the room. It's about being the most aware, and awareness always wins long-term. Deep listening isn't loud, it doesn't brag, but it connects fast. And Sigma males use it to influence without ever needing to push. Way number 3, demonstrating unwavering self-confidence. Confidence doesn't always wear a suit. It doesn't always shout. Real confidence is quiet, steady, and Sigma males carry it everywhere they go. They don't need to prove themselves. They don't walk into rooms needing attention. They walk in knowing exactly who they are, and that's enough. That kind of self-confidence changes the way people react. It draws attention without trying. It earns respect without asking. And it influences others on a deep, unspoken level. You can see it in their posture, their pace, their stillness. They don't rush. They don't brag. They don't over-explain. They're not afraid of silence. They're not afraid of disagreement. And they're not afraid of walking alone. That's what makes it powerful. It's real. People around them feel it. They start to mirror it. When a Sigma male speaks calmly in a stressful moment, others calm down too. When he says no without flinching, people stop pushing. When he walks away from drama without saying a word, others rethink their behavior. That's influence through presence, not pressure. This kind of confidence isn't ego, it's self-trust. The Sigma male knows his values. He knows his limits. He knows his worth. And he doesn't need anyone else to confirm it. That's why they're rarely jealous, rarely reactive. They don't feel the need to compete or compare. And that detachment from approval is what makes them magnetic. They also don't chase people. If someone pulls back, the Sigma male doesn't panic. He lets them go. Because his value doesn't drop when someone doesn't see it. That energy makes people come back or rethink what they're doing. Not because the Sigma male begged, but because he didn't. Confidence that doesn't beg is rare, and people notice. It also makes Sigma males excellent decision makers. They don't second-guess themselves for long. They don't ask 10 people for input. They gather the facts, trust their instincts, and move. Even when they fail, they don't fall apart. They learn, reset, and go again. That kind of resilience adds to their influence, because others start to lean on them for direction. Sigma males don't just act confident. They are confident from the inside out. And that confidence speaks louder than any words ever could. Way number 4. Exhibiting emotional intelligence and empathy. Emotional intelligence isn't about being soft. It's about being smart with emotion. And Sigma males use this skill to move through life with clarity and impact. They don't ignore emotions. They study them, their own and others. They watch how people react. They notice changes in tone. They sense shifts in energy. And they adjust accordingly. That adjustment isn't about people-pleasing. It's about reading the moment and acting with precision. Sigma males understand that emotion drives behavior. If someone's angry, it's rarely about just one thing. If someone's distant, there's a reason. Instead of reacting, Sigma males reflect, and that keeps their interactions smooth, sharp, and powerful. This empathy doesn't mean they let people walk over them. It means they see people clearly and decide what energy to give them. They know when to step in, when to step back, when to let someone speak, when to ask the deeper question. That control over emotional response gives them influence, because people feel safe, they feel seen, and they trust someone who doesn't overreact. Even in conflict, Sigma males stay calm. They don't shout, they don't guilt trip, they stay grounded. And that energy often diffuses tension before it explodes. This also helps in leadership. Empathy helps them know what each person on their team needs. Emotional intelligence helps them deliver it without being fake. People follow someone who understands them. And Sigma males offer that, not through speeches, but through presence. That's the real influence. Reading emotion clearly, responding wisely, and never letting feelings run the show. Way number 5. Maintaining independence and authenticity. Sigma males don't need approval to feel valuable. They don't adjust their personality based on who's watching. And that's exactly why they're influential. They stay independent, not just in lifestyle but in mindset. They think for themselves, move for themselves, and they live by their own values, even if nobody else agrees. This level of independence makes them different in a world where people constantly seek validation. Most people want to fit in. Sigma males want to stay free, and people notice. It's not rebellion. It's clarity. Their choices come from self-respect, not trends. If they don't believe in something, they won't do it, no matter how popular it is. If they know something's wrong for them, they walk away, even if it costs them comfort. That honesty makes them powerful, because authenticity is rare. And when people see someone living that truth out loud, it leaves an impression. They don't copy others. They don't chase status. They're not scared to be misunderstood. In fact, they expect it. But over time, that independence earns respect. Because while others are shifting based on opinions, Sigma males stay solid. And that consistency builds trust. Fast. In conversations, they don't say what's safe. They say what's true, calmly, without ego, and people listen. Because it's not forced. It's not loud. It's just real. That's the influence. Being yourself so fully that it makes other people question why they're not doing the same. Sigma males don't try to convert people. They just live differently. And that energy pulls others toward them. Quietly. Naturally. without effort. Their independence also keeps their decisions clean. No guilt. No second guessing. They know who they are. And when you know who you are, people start to follow your lead. Not because you asked them to, but because you became proof that living on your own terms is possible. Way number 6. Leading by example through consistent actions. Sigma males don't talk about what they're going to do. They just do it. And that's exactly why people trust them. Most people overpromise and underdeliver. They talk big, plan big, but their actions don't follow. Sigma males flip that. They move in silence. Then they show up with results. And that consistency builds influence. When people see someone who follows through, without excuses, without drama, they take notice. Because reliability is rare. And Sigma males are steady. They don't need applause. They don't wait for perfect timing. They just act, again and again. And that repetition is what earns long-term respect. Even small actions matter. They show up when they said they would. They deliver what they promised. They don't disappear when things get hard. That kind of follow-through makes people feel safe. It also proves something deeper. This person has discipline. And disciplined people lead, even without asking to. In work, this makes Sigma males valuable. They're not the loudest voice in the room. But when a crisis hits, people look to them. Not because they yell the answer, but because they've been quietly showing up the whole time. In relationships, it's the same. They don't make big romantic gestures just to impress. They build trust by doing the small things, consistently. And over time, that consistency becomes the foundation. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up, again and again, even when no one's watching, even when no one's cheering. That quiet discipline becomes influence. Because people watch what you do more than what you say. And Sigma males live in that truth. They don't push people to change. They show what's possible and let others decide for themselves. That's real leadership. That's long-term influence. Sigma males don't chase influence. They become it. Not through words, but through presence. Not through pressure, but through consistency. Not through control, but through clarity. They influence people instantly, not by trying, but by being fully themselves. Calm, focused, self-assured, and aware. They master silent communication. They listen deeply. They carry real confidence. They understand emotion. They stay independent. And they lead through action. Each of these traits on its own has power. But together, they form a quiet force that shifts any room the Sigma male walks into. People don't always know why they trust him. They just do. They don't always know why they follow. They just feel safer when he's around. That's influence without effort. That's power without performance. And it all starts from within. You don't have to be loud to lead. You don't have to be seen to matter. You just have to be solid, consistent, true. That's what Sigma males show us every time they walk into a room and change it without saying a word.